Hey everybody, welcome back to Helping from Home. My name's Michelle with Paws and Parks. We have finally made it to our last and final section of our dog aggression series. Part one, we discussed the different types of aggression, where it can stem from, and the signs of it. Part two, we dove into leash reactivity, and today we're going to be discussing the big almighty dog fight and what to do if your dog happens to get into one. So just remember that dogs who are super obedient and are trained really well can still get into scuffles and fights. It happens. Dogs will be dogs, and just remember that it doesn't make them bad. And more often than not, the scuffles that a dog can get into will appear worse than they actually are. It's the noises that can really freak people out. We just have to remember to try our best to stay calm and collected. So something that I personally think is important to ensure a safe environment for our dogs in an off-leash setting or in a setting where they're potentially going to be around other dogs is to not incorporate any of their objects of desire. So balls and toys and ropes and sticks, things that they can become protective of. As soon as we're doing that, we're pretty much adding fuel to a fire. So we want to just have nothing but the dogs and the environment around them, and not adding any of those things that could potentially start a scuffle or a fight. So when it comes to scuffles and fights, our number one priority is safety. The safety of ourselves, of our dog, and of the people around us. So things like minor scuffles, and this is where it's more vocal before dogs actually make direct contact with each other. Just using loud noises is very useful in order to pull your dog away from that situation. Clapping, yelling, using loud whistles. These are all things you're wanting to do. You never want to put yourself in between two dogs unless you absolutely have to. It's so easy to get fingers and hands and faces even caught in between two snarling dogs, and it's not a place you want to be in. I've unfortunately been there, but again, if you don't have to be, you don't want to be. So using those loud noises to distract your dog and getting them out of that situation is what you're wanting to do. So for more serious fights or scuffles, we obviously have to use more powerful methods. And again, this isn't causing any harm to the dog, but it's just an uncomfortable and annoying experience for them. So this can include things such as a hose. If you have access to one, it's just a more powerful solution. It's an upgrade from that spray bottle. There's things called a brake stick. So they're just little wooden sticks about this big that you can carry around with you. And if your dog has latched onto another dog with no hope of letting go, then you can stick this stick in horizontally at the back of their mouth, twist it, and it'll release their grip. It's not something you see too often anymore, but it is useful for dogs who are known to latch and hold. And then there's a wheelbarrow method where you're simply just grabbing underneath of the back of your dog's legs and kind of pulling backwards. Again, it's not causing harm, but it's an uncomfortable feeling for them. You're just trying to get your dog out of the situation as quickly as possible. So again, using more contact in these situations will be necessary. It's important to know what to do after a dog fight has occurred. The first thing being is getting them as far away from that dog as possible, and then getting them to a place where you can comfort them using soothing tone, and just getting them to try to relax as much as they can, inspecting for injuries, and of course, if you believe they need medical attention, getting them to a vet right away. Note the animal hospitals that are around you in your area, so you know where to go and you're not spending any extra time trying to search for one. Also collecting any information from anybody that you may need to come in contact with again at a later time. Some dogs get over conflict quite quickly and easily, and other dogs, it might take them more time. It may have left a more traumatic mark on them. So in the days to follow, just continue to soothe them and give them lots of rest and love. And there may be certain things you might have to kind of go back and revisit as far as getting them comfortable with something again. There may come a time where you will encounter an altercation by yourself and you don't have other people around to help or assist you. Whatever you need to do in order to protect your dogs and yourself, and just use your best judgment. This especially goes for dog walkers who are often out by themselves with multiple dogs at one time. As long as you are prepared and carry the proper tools with you on your walks, then again, most often or not, you can escape a situation like this with minor nicks and scratches. Again, just being as calm and collected as you can be in an otherwise intense and scary situation is very important. So that wraps up our 3-part dog aggression series. If you have any questions or comments, let us know. We hope it was useful. We will be back with a new video on top tips for new dog owners. And we hope you guys are enjoying everything, and we'll see you next time.